What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your breakdown of Penta, the Penta Era. So I am very excited to have him in the game. I think a lot of people are, and they did a really good job. Look at the character work on this. The Zero Miedo, the card poster art here is just really, really good. And Penta in the MCU confirmed because he's got the Marvel Sparkle Circle behind him. Isn't that great? Penta is a modern era, of course, aggressive acrobat. He has links with Mexico, Raw, modern era, and he does have gear. I will unlock that gear here in just a moment so that way you can see what the purple gem damage does, but I want to make sure we see it without that first. He does also have a plate. I will also unlock that later after we do the other moveset. But yeah, I mean, just overall, I think he looks really, really cool, and they did a good job. Also, he's really weird the way he plays. I think it was Bob compared him to the way Hornswoggle plays, and yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, he has a very interesting setup on his moves. So, I'm not going to show as much move as I normally do. I guess I'll show the Juggernaut build. It's a little weird for me, but I'll show it. But there's two primary movesets I think people are going to run him with. But there's a bunch of variations to it we might try. So, yeah, let's get into it. So the moves, let's go here, look like this. The Mexican Destroyer, one of my favorite moves to see. Deal damage and force your opponent to skip their turn for one turn. Deal additional damage then and increase your blue MP by 9. Now, weirdly, the finisher is what goes next. Strange, right? But yeah, then we're doing the sacrifice. Deal damage, make 49 random gems into immobile gems. So the entire board turns into immobile gems. Interesting dynamic there. Then you do your finisher, so there's no way for them to break the immobile gems ahead of the pin, which is cool. Then you do more damage, pin the opponent, and here's where it gets interesting. You choose a 2x2 area to make into trap gems. So the entire board is immobiles, which means you can predict pretty closely where your opponent is going to swipe gems, because they can't, all they can do is, I don't know, they can't really swipe anything. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see how it works. And if broken by you, then you deal damage. But if broken by your opponent, you make 39 random gems into multiply. Only strength 4, though. That is a downside there. Then you got the Penta Driver, deal damage, make 41 multiply gems into purple, and that's also the newer reversal where if you increase your move damage, then you deal damage and steal their turn. So we're going to see how this works. It's, very, very interesting to me. Entourage-wise, we're going to start out with Woods. For purple moves, start with 4 more MP. You'll need somebody else that makes purple MP. I've got Nation of Domination Rock. He's still a little rare for a lot of the community, but he is becoming more available. I've seen a lot more people with him in the last year than the first year, however old he is at this point. But either way, purple moves increase their MP by 2 and increase your multiply gems by strength 1. Then we'll have Bret Hart here. For purple gems do 30% and multi do 60%. And Jade Cargill for purple gems do 30% and purple moves do 30%. That isn't still going to make the multi-gems super huge. They're only going to be strength 5. Of course, if you have Seth Leonardo, we'll run him. And then you've also got the gear, which is going to increase his purple gem damage there as well. But notice this is what makes your multi-gems, the opponent breaking those traps, which, yeah, it's still weird to me, unless you go into the black sub, which we will show here in a little bit. You can do the black sub into 2-turn submission, and then it's going to leave remaining submission multiply gems, but they're only strength 2 even at 6 silver, so we'll play a little bit. On the plate, we will try it with the nearing end, but I don't think, and I think I want to show you here, that it doesn't really work. Where did the nearing end go? I had it close by a minute ago. Anyway, there it is. Whenever you make 6 or more immobile gems, he's certainly going to do that. You increase all of your gem damage by 350% for 1 turn, but you're not breaking any gems on the turn that you make the immobile gems because it's always the finisher. So for right now, I'm just going to keep the basics on him and do the Bubba Ray specs. Whenever you activate a purple move, increase your purple gem damage by 50% for 1 turn. We're running 2 purple moves, so that'll give us, that. But again, you're not making the purples in the same turn that you're breaking them as much, so it's not going to be a huge damage buff on there. Because we're making trap gems, even though it's in a finisher, we're going to go up against Papa Pump. He's going to be stunned, so that'll work. But just keep in mind, this is Acro versus Powerhouse, so we are giving up a little bit of damage. We are. All right. We are the youth of the nation. Yes, I love the Canadian and the Mexican Destroyer moves. Those are great. All right, so he is stunned now. So we're going to do our finisher and see how this works out, because it's truly strange. It's Zero Miedo. Ooh, that was good. It's not a sub move, but still quite interesting. Okay, so now we're gonna make a 2x2 area into trap gems. But they're all immobile. So how is this going to work? Well, we're going to see. Red is his most common color. So I'm going to put it right here because this is the one that's flashing. You've really got the red or the greens. You could put it right here and chance that he's going to get something, either the red or the green. So let's try that. See what happens, because then there we go. Boom. See, you made the trap gem, so that's all he can really move. Now he's frozen. And then you go here, and you're going to make 41 multiply gems into purple. So all of those are turning into... Oh, I love that animation, too. All of those are turning into purple, pretty much. There we go. Everything's reloaded. About 30-something million is all for that. But... very interesting gameplay, right? Very interesting. So let's... I just want to break his little cycle here and get his OODA loop done so that I can move on. Pin me. Come on, let's go. All right, he's going to sub us before he does all of his annoying stuff here. Come on. I do wish the stun was 2. That would have been a nice add on there, but... All right, so let's take out of here. Yes, hi, Papa Pump. Go away. And let's just see what happens if we change him so that, if he had a midline bonus, if he has Sherry, if he's got, some things like that to see what he can actually do. So we'll go in here. We'll replace Nation of Domination Rock with Sherry, which again does require a midline bonus, so keep that in mind. This is a more rare character, so I don't think expecting that you might need a midline bonus is too outlandish. Now these two might be, but I still want you to see what it looks like when you've got Sherry and Seth on here. Plus Brett now is going to hit harder because the multiply gems are hitting 60% more damage. With them buffed up, that does hit a lot harder. You could also put like Zombie Gunther, Zombie Chelsea, whoever, alongside Zombie Brett to make that extra little hit happen right there. So we're going to do this. Yes, I'm going to keep the superstar low because I don't care if Papa Pump does beat him. And keep in mind this is silver, so double the damage at gold. So we'll stun. Pa-pow! Increase our blue MP by 9. Lay down the finisher. Cero Miedo. And pop. There we go. Alright. Let's see. I am going to put here... So that will allow him / force him to break that blue right there. Let's try that. Pop. That makes my whole board into multis pretty much. Well, not as much as I thought it should. Now he's stunned. Now they're times 11 on the multi, so that's going to be a lot bigger of a hit. There's the Penta driver. And that was about 68 million right there now, if you consider basically at gold, right? So 68 million, that's what we want to see. Zero Miedo. Yeah, I love the animations. This is a cool character. And I haven't even gotten to the gear yet, so whoopsies. All right. So variations-wise, we saw 68 million basically. I'm going to go into the strap. I am going to add the nearing end plate, but just to kind of show whether or not it works. And my expectation is, I haven't tested the nearing end plate yet. My expectation is it does not. You could also, of course, throw out Royal Rumble plates. You know, you could do your purple, you could do your blue. That's going to be a thing from now on in the game, is anytime you make, or I should break a good portion of the board, you can always put Royal Rumble plates in there. So, you know, keep that in mind. You could do the Jade plate. I don't know why you would, because it's buff and green and he's making purple, but you might accidentally splash some purple or some greens. So, all right, so only change now is the nearing end. 350% would be like a 3x multiplier, so 3.5x. So you would think that he'll hit around or over 90 if it triggers. But see, my guess is it triggers right here, and then it doesn't do any good after that. All right, so we want to give him something to swipe. Let's see. We'll do that one right there. The design is genius, though. Let me just say, like, that mechanic right there with the immobiles into a swipe really is unique. All right, let's see what the big hit is. I'm guessing it does not. I mean, I'm guessing it's done. It triggered, that is, but it's done now. So, oh, maybe not. That was 68 million. Interesting. Let's run that back, because it says for one turn. Maybe because of the way the finisher hits. Let's run that back, because that did hit for 120 million theoretically. Hold on. I know we're going to see the same thing, but this is a big deal. The nearing end plate is medium rare, I would say, at this point. But if you have one, it's likely hanging out. I mean, Werewolf Aussie, maybe JBL, Trick Hall of Fame. But if you don't have those guys, it's probably just hanging out unused, or it's sitting on Karrion Kross, who does not do a good job in the game even with it. Or, you know, maybe you're running Tech Cody with it or something. But the point of the matter is, it probably isn't like anywhere that you actually care about it. If this is hitting for a consistent 68 million, be 130 million, then you will care about it. Yeah, 63 million. Okay, so confirmed. That is, the nearing end plate does work, and it works like wowzers too. So, last thing with this move set that we're going to see is, let me go in and claim this. We are going to get the gear on there. So, Scopely has sent it my way. I just have to claim it. Okay, there we go. Still on the WrestleMania graphic, by the way. Did we realize that, Scopely? All right. Back here. All right, here we go. All right, so now you see a little blue dot. We have unlocked our gear, and I love this gear. I love it. It's not as dynamic as the black gear, I think. The black and the red is very distinctive, but this look is just so cool. I mean, real life and in game, they did a great job. But look at what the boost does. Purple gems do 200% more damage. So we're going from 68 million, which would be 130 plus million at gold, to a bigger number. And look at, okay, I do like the blue gear a lot more. I really like the blue gear. Oh, geez. And this gameplay is fun. It's an interesting, fun gameplay loop. Definitely makes Penta one of my more favorite, I guess, let's say, characters to use. Especially figuring out I actually anticipated him hitting the yellow. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that did me just as well or better. All right. Here we go. One more big hit with the blue gear on. 200% buff to purple, and they're all going to be multis, which is a bigger buff there. 80 million, right? So that is easily 160 million, and the opponent doesn't get a turn. It does take a little bit just because of the setup and all that, but yeah, if you get Penta plus gear, even if you don't have Sherry or Seth Leonardo, you're going to be doing amazing work. I would wager to guess more people have Sherry than Seth. So like I said, just put one of the other zombies that does multi-gems do 60% more damage in this spot, and you're still going to be doing really good. Here, there's multiple people that increase the multiply by 2. So if you can't do the full thing, you can do that. And you do need, like I said, a line bonus to make this one happen. So, yeah, that's a pretty good setup. And you could, if you have Nation of Domination Rock, but, instead of Sherry, you can sub him in. You're still going to hit for plenty of damage. Like, even if it drops down to 120 million. Oh my gosh, that would be so sad, right? Anyway, all right, so that was a lot for just one moveset. So let's move on to the next moveset, which is the one that actually uses his plate. The next moveset we're going to take a look at is Triple Black. This one is also kind of cool and unique. Not as unique for sure as the last one, but still cool. Sling Blade, 6 MP black move. Deal damage, make the bottom row into 1 turn countdown gems that will deal damage, increase the strength of your multiply gems by 1, which doesn't sound like much, but you got to think there's 7 of them going out. Since it is making a 1 row, you can't increase this. Like if you could do 7 random gems or choose 7 gems and then put Sola Sokoa on there, that would be even better, but you can't. Then you go into the submission, generate 18 random sub gems, deal damage for 2 turns, which is my favorite version of the sub if you're going for whatever gems it creates, because it's just enough to set your opponent back a turn, but it's not enough to make them break as many gems as they could. And the remaining submission gems turn into multiply gems. They are only strength 2 though. So you got to figure it's strength 2 and it's going up theoretically by 7 as long as your opponent doesn't break your countdown. So they are going to be strength 9 before you start getting trainers and coaches involved. Then you've got the Pendulum Dropkick. Deal damage, choose a 6x4 area. That is at silver. It goes up, I believe, at gold. Into black gems. And then if the opponent's style is defensive, deal damage and make 9 random gems into multiply gems of strength 9. So that would set you up on your next turn if you need a next turn, or next cycle, actually, because then you'd have, well, anyway, you see. All right, entourage-wise, you're going to want Woods, the other version of the MP Trainer Woods. Then you're going to want Damian Priest. Black moves start with 2. Multiplies will increase your strength by 1. I didn't mention it, but on the last one with Nation of Domination Rock, but at 35k, these do go up to strength 2. So keep that in mind. I've got Rocky on here for multiplies increase their strength by 1 again, and Liv for black gems do 30% more damage. I will play with some more rare trainers on this in a second, because the zombie that does multi-damage and black is LA Knight, and I know he is super, super rare, and I'll put Seth back here again. And then if we do Sherry, we'll just once again say, hey, this is what it would be with a midline bonus. I didn't mention one other thing on the strap. His gear's not doing anything on this one because it buffs purple. We're making black, so it's just going to be there because I think it's super cool. This is a 50% gem damage strap with Fury 2s. Should I make this a 100 or 150 strap with Fury 3s, that 180 million that we did is an easy 240 million. I mean, easy. So keep that in mind as well. Then we've got the new Penta plate right here. We're going to show it off. Whenever you make 6 or more sub-gems, increase your black gem damage by 200% for 2 turns. I don't expect this to be a super rare plate long term, so even if you don't have it now, keep in mind that it's kind of like the Bite Man plate. It's medium rare. I'll use that phrase again. Then the Acolytes plate. Whenever you make 6 or more sub-gems, increase all your gem damage by 50% for your next turn, right? So we are creating 18 gems that are going to turn into multiply, and then we're going to sub, we're going to make some things happen, and we're going to turn most of the board black. So pretty straightforward in its layout. Now, when you put your countdown gems down, I preferred the bottom row, except it. Oh, wait, never mind. It puts them on the bottom row. Never mind. I was going to say I prefer the bottom row, except when the bottom row is something that's easily broken. In this case, he might break the purple, but that would be about it. And these are random gems here, which I appreciate again, because it doesn't take near as much. You're going to take him down 1, 2. He'll get his turn bonus, which is 1, but he did break all those countdown gems. So look at that. This is a very good example of why those countdown gems would not necessarily be the best thing all the time. So we're only hitting for ×5 on those multi-gems. We want to put this where it's going to connect with the most black and the most multi as possible. And then, boom, that was 10 million. Now, that was the result of Papa Pump really screwing over our world. Can I make this 2.5? No, I cannot. He broke a boatload of our countdown gems, which really screwed things up. Come on. I should have gone against Zombie, I about said Aleister Black. I hope, now that Aleister Black is back, I hope Zombie Black comes back in October. Maybe they could even make him like the, what's it called? The countdown, the collection, the whatever, like the Ozzy spot. Ozzy was the first one that they did it with, but then it was like Rosie, and then it was whoever, and it's been a bunch of different people now. But the character that you can get at 6-star gold for playing the whole month through, I really would love to see Zombie Aleister Black. He's one of the few zombies I'm missing in the game. In fact, I think it's just him. Well, let's go ahead and buff our health since we're doing a sub move. He's going to get a turn. I think it's just him and Daniel Bryan that I'm missing. I could be very wrong, but I'm pretty sure those are the 2 zombies that I'm missing. All right, the bottom row is somewhat protected this time. There's the yellow gem if he decides to go for it, which he might. Typically, the AI targets the sub gems, which is also problematic because, again, you want as many of those on the board as possible. Oh, good. Okay, so this is going to be a much better setup now. So now these are ×11, which is a much truer hit. It is random. They do tend to sink down to the bottom a little bit. So that's going to be our best hit right there. But you notice we are going to miss some because of the randomness of these sub-gems. So not my favorite setup when the other one exists. Let me just say that. So that was 20 million. So that'd be 40 million at gold. So let's hop out of this one. Yeah, I know we're going to waste packs. Hi, Zombie Sammy. If it weren't for New Gen Sammy, he'd still be my favorite Sammy in the game. All right. We'll just make one quick change, and then we'll switch over to the Juggernaut builds, which I'm not, I don't know, not super keen on so far. All right, so we'll put multis there. We'll put that there, and then we will go rare just to see it happen here. If you had everything, what could he hit for? There we go. Once again, we're still basically at the mercy of RNG AI because it's, is he going to break the bottom row? Is he going to break all of our countdown gems? Which there's a prime example right there. There's a purple swipe that would eat half of my countdown gems. So let's hope not, but I bet he does. I very bet he does. Oh, so far. Oh, okay. Well, this is great. He didn't. So now they're times 16. There is a black times 16 that I can connect with right here. So we'll just miss 2 of the multis. That's not bad at all. So this is probably our ideal hit right here. This is probably a good 27. Yeah, so little under 60 million. Like I say, I don't think the plate's going to be rare. So I think this is one that you can run fairly handily. But if you can run the other one, why would you run this? That's all I'm saying. So let's look at one last thing, and then we'll be done with this breakdown video. See you in a second. All right, the last moveset is the weird one. Let's just call it what it is. It's 2 Juggernaut gem build, or double Juggernaut gem build. The Backstabber, 6 MP blue, deal damage, make 2 random gems into 2 turn Juggernaut gems that will increase your move dodge chance by 98%, which means you're never going to get hit by a move because you get 2 of them, 98% each. And we're going to make more for 1 turn, and then increase your purple MP by 2 at the end of the countdown. The Knife Edge Chop, 6 MP blue, deal damage, make 2 random Juggernaut gems into 2 turn Juggernaut gems that will make 2 random gems into power gems of strength 94. Is that 94? No, 946,000, almost a million, on every countdown, and increase the strength of your power gems by 473k at the end of each countdown. That's big. Then the Mexican Destroyer, deal damage, force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn, deal damage, and increase your blue MP by 9. So this is an interesting cycle, and there's some interesting trainers and interesting plates that you can put on this. So what I want to suggest is this setup here. Purple MP starts with 4, blue MP starts with 4, that's 5 with the turn bonus. Santa Hogan makes it 6 so that you can run these blue Juggernaut gems twice, which means you're going to increase your power gems quite a lot. And then you have one of 2 choices. You either put Raphael, or that's power gems do 200%, or you put Goldberg. And I'm going to show you both because it's quite interesting the way that's going to work. On the plates, okay, there is the Ninja Turtle plates that go well with this. I do not have them. So that is not an option for me right now on here. So there is a couple plates that do, like, when you throw down Juggernaut gems, you destroy their damage, kind of like one of these, except for this is the countdown gem version that you could put on there. But other than that, there's just not really anything that I would recommend. And on this test account, I do not have the Ninja Turtle plates. So there's the Raphael plate, I think, or Michelangelo, whichever it is, but it's like if you dodge a move, your gem damage goes up a bunch. That would be the one that you would want to run, basically. All right, so let's see him in action against Zombie Sammy. Zombie Sammy should not get a turn. You could do the make Juggernaut take 4 away from their MP plate, like I mentioned, and then that would even do better. But so, oh, you know what? I am a silly goose. I could change the graphics on this, but I'm not going to, because I was thinking, oh, you'll run the blue twice. Will we? Will we, though? Hold on. Because this doesn't finisher him, right? Okay, it does. All right, sweet. So yes, we are running the. I'm not a goose. I'm a one without fear. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Pow pow. Shoop shoop. All right. Now we've got as many of these on the board as we can. The goal would be not to break them. So we want to run that right there. Now watch what happens to the board here. Everything's buffed. We have some power gems. Said power gems are currently doing 2.8 million damage, which is not bad, right? Then we want to take another swipe without breaking any more gems. Zombie Sammy is going to get a turn, but then our power gems are going to go up significantly. There we go. There we go. And yeah, I could have thrown down the power gems here. All right, so now these are doing a lot. Commas, Scopely commas, 900, 8 million. I just want to make sure. I doubted in my heart that was 85 million, but just in case. Just in case. Oh, goodness. All right, so we've got that. We've got this. And then we're going to do our little swipies again. He's stunned. We're going to do, or not swipies, Juggernauts again. Then we're going to do a swipe. And you can see how this adds up and stacks. Like, it's not fast, but it is fun. It is very fun. And we got that one, so we don't have to take a hit. Yeah, he's already done. And then, right? So I'm going to try not to pin him, although I don't think I can. Still at 2.8 million. Yes, I didn't pin him. Okay, sweet. Oh, dodged. Oof. All right, all those go off again. Everything's reloaded. We can stun him. And now these are back to 8.5. All right, so 8.5 is the highest hit we can get on there. But you can see, you can just keep doing this forever. Like, it's just that easy. So, yeah, that's fine. Let's do that one. He's stunned. So we've hit him for a lot of damage. You get the idea. So that is about the hardest you can hit. It's a 2-cycle, which the cycles are longer, win, but nobody's going to survive it. You dodge their moves, so all they can do is hit you with gems. And if you have a turtle plate, you can do even more damage than that. So now instead of Raphael, we are going... Well, actually, you know what? Let's once more assume that you could do a midline bonus since he's a rare character. Let's actually take out Santa Hogan and let's put in Goldberg. Let's see what his top end damage is. Where are you at, Goldberg? There we go. Streakberg. So now we're creating 3 and 3. That's going to be a lot of buffage. That's a lot of buffage. Oh, man. This is fun. I mean, I really enjoy this gameplay for him. It's just not fast. It's not fast at all. But, sometimes you don't have to be fast if you hit for 40 bajillion damage. But again, you're not going to do this in boss battle because look at how long each one of these... Not that they're super long animations, but you have to go through all of them this many times. And then there's not a move that immediately clears the Juggernaut so that they all trigger. And then you got to swipe. So you got to swipe, do that animation, swipe again. So this is not going to be a viable boss battle build. I'll just tell you that right now. It's just not. But it's a fun one. All right, so we'll take a swipe. There we go. Doesn't do hardly any damage this time. But now we've got these, and they're 2.8 million each. We've got more of them. Let's see here. Do I have to do that one? I think I do. All right. So that was a 30 million hit. Now let's see what these go to. And those take a while for that animation. Yes, that took a lot of while. All right. So now these are 11 million each. And we can throw more out and see if we can get them higher, although we really can't because the eating of the turns destroys them, by the way, like we saw. So 11 million each times however many are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. So yeah, you're talking 110 million per swipe, basically. So keep that in mind. That's really good. Bam, he's done. But then, everything triggers again, and you're losing your buff, then you're gaining your buff, and it just balances right back out. So anyway, that's it for Penta. I prefer the first move set. Second move set is okay. The plates there, as I often say, I think the plate that they make is usually not as good on the character they make it for as it is on others. You'll end up seeing other people that do better with it. That first moveset, though, with the crazy freaking immobile gem play is my favorite. It is so good, and I just enjoy it so much. So let me know what you think of Penta in the comments section. Like the video, subscribe to Champions Chat, and I do please hit subscribe on that if you're not already, because we're trying to get a push to get kind of break out of we're in the 3,000 subs right now, and we've been there for quite some time, so we'll break that orbit a little bit, and I'd appreciate if you help. And we make these videos to try to be helpful to you, so let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one, friends. Bye.